they are going to become more brutal.
Because all the hippies were trying to be Indians anyway?
They're going to become more repressive because it's a matter of dollars and their illusionary concepts of power.
Hey, Victor.
We must live in balance with the earth.
And also with recent happenings at Wounded Knee.
I am awake.
Welcome to Native Roots Radio Presents I'm Awake, and I'm your host, Wakanja Hade. Hey, Kadagi to all my friends and relatives in four directions. You are listening to Native Roots Radio Presents I'm Awake, and I'm your host, Robert Pilot. We discuss local, national, Native news and events, and as you know, Native issues are human issues, and human issues are Native issues. We are always honored to have State Senator Mary Kunesh on our Fridays, and it's great to see you. You hear me okay, State Senator?
I hear you. And we had a little blip there, but I hear you just fine now.
Excellent, excellent. Hey, one of the things that we wanted to talk about was it's the 60th anniversary of the voting rights, and maybe we can lead off the show with a little of that.
Yeah, that'd be great. Yesterday was the 60th anniversary of the Voting Rights Act here in the United States, and I issued a press release that specifically kind of focused on Native American rights because all our communities of color and our LGBTQ community, any community that's been viewed historically as less than, have really been intentionally disenfranchised, or there's been legislation or different ways to keep them from voting the way that the majority, sometimes the majority racist people want people to vote. And so the Voting Rights Act came about in 1965, and it really supposedly transformed the political landscape for the United States by prohibiting any kind of racial discrimination in voting. And we know that it wasn't until 1975 there was an amendment to that act that had specific provisions to address the voting rights of American Indian, Alaska Natives, and other language minority groups. And that was because there was a lot of intentionality at, number one, not informing them or educating our Indigenous communities, our reservations, or even our urban core around their voting rights. And then oftentimes there were all kinds of different ways that communities attempted to limit voting opportunities for Indigenous people, especially like in greater Minnesota, or where there are Native communities are far from an urban core, not having polling places nearby where, that community would have to travel hours and hours and hours. Oftentimes they were put in locations that were not friendly to Indigenous or folks of color. So at the police station or, at the local jail or something like that, where nobody really wants to visit.
Right.
Forever, again, there was no education around your rights to vote, to let our Native folks, and I've told this story many times, but maybe 6 years ago, I was working on Get Out the Vote in Indian Country here in Minnesota, and went up and spoke with some of our kind of remote communities and elders specifically. And there were more people than not who didn't even know that they could vote in their local elections or at the federal level. They just thought, I can only vote on tribal issues. And that's in this day and age. And I've also shared that, I think my grandpa was in his late 20s before he got the right to vote. And never was encouraged or educated around the ability to vote. So I'm just really glad that we're looking at this and talking about the anniversary now. It's been 60 years. Voting shouldn't be that big of an issue, but we know that it still is a huge problem, and there are always barriers. I mean, geographic isolation. One thing that Minnesota did that was really cool is that we created mobile voting booths, so like a little trailer that would travel around, because, you know, if you measure from where somebody lives in greater Minnesota and the closest polling place, and, you know, that's only like 15, 20 miles. But if they have remote roads and they have to go around the lake and, you know, we vote in November. In November, we generally have tons of snow here in Minnesota.
Right.
So we're really looking at ways to remove a lot of the barriers. And we've seen in other states, especially, requirement for specific forms of identification, like you have to bring in your birth certificate or your passport, which, you know, this is another thing at the federal level. There's been legislation proposed where you have to bring in your birth certificate to go to vote. How many women take their husband's name?
Exactly.
And their names do not match their birth certificate. And that totally, I mean, women, again, are one of those groups that have historically been disenfranchised. We've seen in all these elections, these midterm or different elections, especially if abortion or women's reproductive rights are under question, even in the red states, women are voting at higher rates to protect their own rights.
Exactly.
And so these are the things that are happening. And it might be the anniversary, but I for one am really worried about what's going on at the federal level when they're talking about redistricting.
Yeah. Well, let me remind everyone out there too, in 1928, Native Americans were able to vote in their own country for the first time, but a lot of it, as you were kind of alluding to, a lot of it didn't really, all over the United States, didn't really happen until 1965, I believe. And so there were a lot of pockets around. I heard an interesting story too. I can't remember who was up north with Lieutenant Governor Flanagan, and they were at a parade up there, and the natives up there didn't even know she was running for a senator. I mean, there's a lot of information that's being withheld, and we need to really get it out there, because the problem that the Republicans see is that we outnumber them, and they're doing everything again to stop our vote. And I know I talked to Arvina Martin, who's head of in Wisconsin. She's a head of the helping people get elected, and I always vote early, and I make that a point now, just in case something weird happens on election day.
Yeah, I mean, there's all kinds of things that can come up, and I think that's one of the really great things that we again have here in Minnesota is you can vote in person early. You can submit your ballot early. We've done, just so many different things in order to ensure that we're removing those barriers. And I know there are plenty of people that would like to rebuild those barriers and make sure, that people who have every right to vote are not able to do that. And I mean, if we want to make America great again, it has to start with our freedom and our independence and our ability to vote without intimidation and vote the way we want to vote.
Exactly. Hey, why don't we take a quick break here? We're here with State Senator Mary Kunesh, and we're just talking our weekly chat here on Fridays, and we're talking about the anniversary of the voting rights, and we have more to talk about. This is Native Roots Radio. We'll be right back.
The city of Minneapolis is now on Native Roots Radio with Minneapolis AIR. AIR stands for American Indian Relations. Guest host Christine McDonald talks to people about important things affecting the city's Native communities. Minneapolis Air dives into topics like public safety, public health, elections, and so much more. Tune in to Minneapolis Air on Native Roots Radio from 5 to 6 p.m. on the second Wednesday of every month, right here on AM 950.
Hey, Cudahy to all my friends and relatives in four directions. This is Robert Pilot of Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake. I'm here to ask you for your support. Finding honest Native-centered news is not easy. But with your support, we're able to provide accurate information about Standing Rock, Line 3, treaty violations, and COVID-19 in our Native communities. Please visit Native Roots Radio Network on Patreon and donate if you can. That's Native Roots Radio Network on Patreon. Pinigigi, and thank you for your support.
Your heart beats for generations.
Your heart is so many things. It beats all the time, and it works very hard to keep you moving through your day, keeping your thoughts clear. It's the most important organ in your body.
Every beat of your heart tells a story of love, resilience, and hope. Taking care of your heart means creating more moments with the ones you cherish. Learn more at hennepin.us/heart-beats. That's hennepin.us/heart-beats.
Four Sisters Farmers Market is more than a place to shop for delicious organic food. It's a celebration of indigenous culture, food sovereignty, and community. Now in its 11th season, the market offers healthy, affordable, culturally appropriate local foods every Thursday from 11 to 3. Located on the American Indian Cultural Corridor off Franklin Avenue, Four Sisters Farmers Market is a project of NAGD. Every Thursday now through October, discover more about Four Sisters Farmers Market by visiting nagd.org.
Annie, and I'm Lieutenant Governor Peggy Flanagan, and you are listening to Native Roots Radio.
Welcome back to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and this is Robert Pilot. Hey, welcome back, everyone. It's Robert Pilot. I'm here with State Senator Mary Kunesh, and we're talking about some things that are happening locally and nationally, and an anniversary last about the 60th anniversary of the voting rights, and just how I think it's really important that you and I and people talk about this, because 2026 is coming up quick, and we have issues with redistricting and gerrymandering and all these things, and with Texas and people less voting places in highly minority areas, BIPOC areas. So they're really trying to stack the deck against us here, and I think it's important that we talk about it. State Senator, welcome back.
Thanks very much. I'm so nervous, and I'm like almost sick to my stomach at the thought of what's going on out there. And Texas isn't the only state that, from what I understand, is considering doing some redistricting now. And usually redistricting only happens after a census. So every 10 years we have a national census, and we know that Trump already wants to I think you mentioned he wants to redo the census,
right,
to not include specific groups of people.
Exactly.
So after you do the census, you look at your population, and then they're divided into voting districts. And I almost think that Trump sort of half-heartedly, off the cuff said, "Oh, we should just redistrict everything to protect the very thin, slim majority that Republicans have in the House in the federal government, not here in Minnesota. No, we're talking about nationally."
Right.
So. It's going to be a big fight for the House in 2026. There's a slim majority in the House towards Republicans. And so Texas is actually, and I was out in Boston on Monday meeting with the Quad Caucus. So that's the African American, Native American, Asian South Pacific, and Latino legislators to see how we can push back against what is happening in Texas. And they're trying really, really hard in Texas, the Republicans, to give the Republicans 5 more seats in the state. And that would ensure that they keep their very narrow majority in the U.S. House of Representatives. And so, I don't know how they will do this, if they're going to be able to do it. But if this is the beginning, then we're going to see a total takeover, unconstitutionally, un-American takeover by redistricting, just to make all these majority Republican districts.
Well, we have Governor Newsom, too, of California, threatening right back to do the same thing, to pick up 6 seats in California. So this could be a major cluster, just because, again, we're going to be redistricting. And, that tells me that the Republicans are really, really afraid of losing both the House and Senate this next election. And they're doing whatever they can.
Yeah. I think they're very nervous. And I think we've been seeing in some of these big votes that are happening in the states, like I mentioned before, around reproductive rights for women, didn't always go the way they thought. And when we look at some of the other elections that have happened in the last year or so, non-Republicans are starting to take the lead in those seats. But I'm just not really sure how we can make sure this isn't going to happen anymore, and that everybody isn't just going to.
Well, Governor Abbott sounds like Trump now, and saying things that he can arrest them and do things, and he's just making things up, because we do have a constitution, even though I did read somewhere that Trump took off a few of the things of the Constitution that are very important to us on their website. So I don't know if he's just seeing if people are paying attention or what, but this is getting more and more frightening the minute we get going here. So, again, it's good that we're talking about this.
Yeah. And it was interesting, again, what happened in Texas is that when they had their House panel vote on Saturday to, accept or to move the redrawn map that gives Republicans the majority, many of the Democrats in that state left the state of Texas. And they left in an effort to make sure that there wasn't quorum. Right. And so that we couldn't, and it's sort of reminiscent of what happened here in Minnesota this spring, when the Republicans in this state claimed the majority, and that they were going to, they wouldn't accept the election of one of the DFL, the Democrats in the House. Right. And that gave the Republicans the majority, and the Dems said, no. That's legit. It was very close, but it was a legitimate victory for that state representative. And so the House members, the DFL House members, didn't show up to the Capitol. They didn't show up on the floor of the House in order to, not have quorum and allow the Republicans to basically take over. And I'm trying to think of how long they did that for. It was a couple of weeks for sure.
Oh yeah, it was over a month. But what's interesting is the press was really on the Democratic side, which isn't always the case when you see a lot of our right-wing press like KSTP. They were getting legitimate polls that said that the people were for waiting this out and getting the right count on the legislators. So that was one heartening thing that I saw during that. But you're absolutely right, and I'm glad you brought that up, because I almost forgot all about that.
Yeah, I did too, until somebody mentioned it yesterday when we were talking about that. Oh my gosh, that was just you know, 5 months ago, and how quickly we forget. But we were, you know, the Dems, DFL persevered, and they're like, we're not coming back until we have a formal agreement. And at the end of the day, and it was led by Melissa Hortman, our beloved assassinated leader, who was the mastermind, the brilliant mastermind to ensure that we were doing things the democratic way, the correct way. At the end of the day, the Republicans ended up agreeing to what she agreed to in the first place. So had that been, we wouldn't have had, you know, goofy upon goofy upon goofy session that we can't even remember anymore. But it's, you know, I say bravo to those Dems that are making sure that we aren't basically defacing our state, our national and our state constitutions, and that we are upholding the right. You know, people voted us in, and when they deny the right of a representative to represent their community, we're slipping into fascism. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I think we're already there. I don't know if we're slipping into it. I think we're more like China right now, and each day it's worse and worse. So there's really got to be a big push, and people, again, it's great that we're talking about this, because look at it. I forgot about what happened 5 months ago. I mean, there is so much going on, and just like when Trump first became president, he just threw 100 things against the wall and see what stuck, and most of it was illegal, but it really had us flailing and going, what's going on here, and not being able to pay attention. And here we are 6 months later, and nothing's changed. There's things happening as we're speaking, you know, that they're putting out there, and they like to put things out on the weekend, so you can't really respond to it.
Right. It's the playbook of confusion, chaos, uncertainty, what's going to happen next. We don't even know where to go, all of those things.
Yeah. Well, we got a minute left here, and I just, you know, want to say I really appreciate what you guys are doing. There's elections coming up, and maybe we can talk about a couple of those elections locally that are coming up, because again, for me, that's kind of confusing. There's a lot of stuff going on. There's people passing away, you know, people getting convicted of breaking into their stepmother's house, and there's all these other things happening. So maybe we can touch base on that in the next segment.
Okay, I can do that.
Right on. Hey, this is Native Roots Radio, and we're here with State Senator Mary Kunesh, and we'll be right back after this short break. Please stay with us.
Hey, this is Patrick for Zero Res. Did you know that August is Pet Appreciation Month? Zero Res is safe for all pets with no harsh soaps or chemicals in their cleaning products. If you have a pet like I do, you know they like to leave little bits of themselves around the house, whether that's fur or dander or worse, and you should call my cleaning heroes at Zero Res to get things back in shape in your house. Carpet, tile, hardwood, rugs, upholstery, air ducts, every surface in your home can be Zero Resified. If you haven't tried out Zero Res, or it's been months since your last deep clean, then now is the time to call. Right now you can get your entire home Zero Resified from Minnesota's ultimate carpet cleaner, and get 3 rooms of carpet clean starting at just $149. Take 15% off pet odor treatments and 50% off an air duct cleaning. Schedule your appointment today at ZeroResMinnesota.com or call 9520-RES and ask for the AM 950 special. Backward or forward spells the same. Zero Res.
Hi, this is Frank Brown of Minuteman Press Uptown with a question for our listeners. How important are business values to you? When you need high-quality digital print, it matters who you work with. You see, Minuteman Uptown is unique. We're one of the only union print shops in Minnesota, providing our team with living wages and benefits. We believe in second chances for justice-impacted individuals who want to contribute to the community, and we are active in local issues. We've been in the streets standing up for racial, social, and economic justice. At Minuteman Uptown, our mission is to connect all communities through technology-driven print solutions. An example of that mission is when I moved Minuteman Uptown to North Minneapolis, We're invested in this local community, and we help small businesses and local organizations throughout the Twin Cities reach their audiences. Reach out to Minuteman Uptown and partner with a printer that shares your values. Call us today at 612-870-0777 or visit us at mpuptown.com. That's mpuptown.com.
Hi, I'm Peter Solak.
And I'm Adam Ostrowski.
We are here at Woodland Stoves and Fireplaces to talk about the joy of live fire cooking. Cooking over a live fire is the oldest and most basic form of cooking.
What's new is in the way fire is handled and its heat is managed.
It's easier to experience and enjoy the smell and taste of food cooked over a live fire.
Woodland Stoves and Fireplaces sells and installs live fire grills, fire pits, and ovens. Let us help you experience the smell, the taste, the fun of cooking with fire.
Pizza was first made and is still best made in an open fire oven. The radiant and conductive heat of a live fire is unmatched for wood roasting and baking artisan breads too.
Come see the many ways you can cook over a live fire.
Woodland Stoves and Fireplaces has over 35 working wood and gas units on display at the corner of East Franklin and Riverside Avenue in Minneapolis. More information at woodlandstoves.com. Find the fire that works for you. Woodland Stoves and Fireplaces. Out of the ordinary products and services since 1977.
Oh, this is Dallas Goldtooth, and you're listening to the Native Roots Radio. Hoka, hicha, wecha.
Welcome back to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and this is Robert Pilot. Hey, welcome back, everyone. I'm here with State Senator Mary Kunesh, and we're talking a little about politics nationally, locally, and also voter rights and how that's affected Indian country and our BIPOC relatives. Now, here in Minnesota, there's a few elections happening, and maybe we can talk a little bit about those. I know the governor has to set up a special election, and I'm not 100% sure if the state senator has resigned. Did she resign?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Thank you. Okay.
Yes.
There's so much going on. Thank you.
There is a lot going on. We had a state senator that was convicted of a felony of breaking into her stepmother's house to get some of the items that her late father had left, and that she felt were not given to her as they should have been or were specified to be. So Nicole Mitchell resigned, which that then means that we have to fill that Senate seat. Minnesota state legislative session doesn't begin until February 17th of next year, 2026. And so in the meantime, there are a number of special elections. So in the Senate, we have to replace Nicole Mitchell. And then one of our seasoned state senators, Senator Anderson, passed away. He had served for like 30 years between the House and the Senate. He had been a legislator for his district for around 30 years, and he passed away. So we have two seats that need to be filled. And if you remember, earlier this year, we had another seat for another special election. Well, actually two. Again, things that we don't remember, but our beloved leader, Carrie Dietzig, passed away. And so,
oh my God, yes,
that was this year.
Right.
So we had a special election, and our DFL candidate, Doran Clark, was successful in keeping that seat. And then the Republican that was soliciting minors, do you remember him?
Yes, I sure do. Sure do.
And so he resigned right away, and we have a new, and that's GOP member. Right. So we have a new GOP member, and then So those two already this year, and now we'll have two more that we need to fill. But interesting enough, on the DFL side, to fill Nicole Mitchell's seat are two of our House members that are looking to become senators. So there's a good chance that one of them will get that seat. And if that happens, now then the House has to have another special election.
Wow.
So I think this might be the record number of special elections for Minnesota. It just sort of keeps piling up. And of course, the House also has to replace Melissa Hortman's seat.
Yeah. Jeez.
So it's sort of never ending, these special elections. And I'm thankful that we don't start our session until the middle of February, because I think we're all still in a place of mourning. I think we're all, experiencing some form of PTSD.
Yeah.
And, the fact that we have to get all of our caucuses in order. We're going to need time, and we're going to need the opportunity to heal and understand how we're going to put everything back in order and make for the best that we can for Minnesota.
Well, also, too, things have come up, especially since Melissa Hortman's murder, and one of them is the safety of our lawmakers. That's got to be heavy on your mind and a lot of people. How are these people getting in there? How are people not? I did see on the news out one of the, I believe, senators or state representative, I can't remember, she was upset that she didn't hear about any of this going on until 2 hours later.
Well, the morning of was it June 14th or July 14th?
June 14th. June, right?
Yeah. When Melissa Hortman,
it was
July 14th,
Jeez.
when Melissa Hortman and her husband were murdered, and then the murderer went over to Senator Hoffman, and he and his wife were shot through the door. Luckily, their daughter was not killed. Nobody has experienced that here in Minnesota. And so, we can say they should have done this, they should have done that. I mean, I think the worst thing that God, I can't say the worst, but so many bad things that came out of this whole situation is that they did not go into the Hortman home and for over an hour after the shots. And that's when they found Melissa Hortman. So, I mean, this is uncharted territory for everyone and all of us. And I was notified very early in the morning. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know, should I leave? Should I stay? Do you hunker down? If you leave and somebody's out there watching your house, are they going to follow you to wherever you're going to go? And, oftentimes we went to a loved one's, another family member or, other places. I think the big question for a lot of us is the kind of jeopardy we put our family members and our neighbors and our staff in, as well as being a legislator. I mean, where I live, we're a very tight-knit community, and I don't want my neighbors to, feel not safe. I don't want, I want my grandchildren to be here at my house. Do I not bring my grandchildren? Because one of them was with me. And that morning I just thought, wow, what if he had gotten in here? Because, there was that list and I was on that list. What if he had come here? The Hortmans is not too far from here. So yes, the safety is of the utmost concern. Most of us, or all of state legislators, now have the opportunity to get home security in their homes. And I can say that my house is now, for the first time in my lifetime, I have home security.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird to have that, but I'm also very thankful. And then, we talk about how do we keep ourselves safe, not you know how you used to say, oh, who's going to blah, blah, blah. I'm going to go here, or I'm going on vacation, or I'm on vacation, or, this, that, or the other, being very careful about how much you share with the public. Most of our addresses have been scrubbed from a lot of the website and social media. Everybody make a plan. What's your plan? Who's your backup? Who's your emergency call? And those sort of things. But, now what we really need to be concentrating on is the security at the state capitol, because until now we have had basically no security, no formal security other than Capitol security. Yes, we have sergeant at arms and Capitol security, but we didn't. People could still conceal and carry, bring their guns into the Capitol, and we saw a number of examples of intimidation by guns, including a certain state representative or state senator who loved to show off his gun tucked into the back of his pants in my education finance committee.
Jeez.
And, just, what was it, 2 weeks ago, they found a naked man in our state Senate chambers in the middle of the night.
And he came back twice.
Yeah, they got him. And it turned out that he had put something in one of the doors to come back later. Oh. And he did. Now, how he got into the chamber, I don't know. Because even when I go in there, it's all locked up. Unless they know that I'm coming, it's not unlocked. And so, yeah, they took him to the psych ward where they evaluated him, decided he wasn't dangerous to himself or others, and let him go. And he went right back to the Capitol again. So we now know that they are taking a lot more precautions. And even Republican county sheriff is calling for better security. So when you come in, you have to go through, a security thing, a metal detector. Yeah. And, we've tried for years. And when I say we, I say Dems, have tried for years to not allow guns in the Capitol. And maybe now we'll be able to get that one done. Yeah. But yeah, it's scary. It's really scary. And a lot of people have asked me, like, are you going to run again? Are you going to keep doing this? Are you scared? And there are, a lot of people that are rethinking, are they going to run for office given what's happening? And I'm just really worried that some really, really good people that might have stepped up to serve in a civic way will not, because of what's going on.
Wow. Yeah. Geez, I can't even imagine. And, to me, I come to the Capitol a lot, and it's I like that it's open and then you can just come in there, but really have to really, really rethink that, because in most places, I know downtown St. Paul, when you go into the courthouse, you got to go through metal detectors and all those things. And so it just makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's just so sad that this is the day and in this day and age that people have our fear of their lives.
Yeah. Well, State Senator, thank you so much for being on, as always, on our Fridays here. Very important. People love to hear your conversation and what you have to say. So thank you so much, and have a great weekend.
Tok sha'ake, everybody.
Hey, this is Native Roots Radio. Up next, Wendy with our Sacred Animal portion. We'll be right back.
The city of Minneapolis is now on Native Roots Radio with Minneapolis AIR. AIR stands for American Indian Relations. Guest host Christine McDonald talks to people about important things affecting the city's Native communities. Minneapolis AIR dives into topics like public safety, public health, elections, and so much more. Tune in to Minneapolis AIR on Native Roots Radio from 5 to 6 p.m. on the second Wednesday of every month, right here on AM 950.
Hey Cudahy to all my friends and relatives in four directions. This is Robert Pilot of Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake. I'm here to ask you for your support. Finding honest Native-centered news is not easy. But with your support, we're able to provide accurate information about Standing Rock, Line 3, treaty violations, and COVID-19 in our Native communities. Please visit Native Roots Radio Network on Patreon and donate if you can. That's Native Roots Radio Network on Patreon. Pinigigi, and thank you for your support.
Your heart beats for generations.
Your heart is so many things. It beats all the time, and it works very hard to keep you moving through your day, keeping your thoughts clear. It's the most important organ in your body.
Every beat of your heart tells a story of love, resilience, and hope. Taking care of your heart means creating more moments with the ones you cherish. Learn more at hennepin.us/heart-beats. That's hennepin.us/heart-beats.
Four Sisters Farmers Market is more than a place to shop for delicious organic food. It's a celebration of indigenous culture, food sovereignty, and community. Now in its 11th season, the market offers healthy, affordable, culturally appropriate local foods every Thursday from 11 to 3. Located on the American Indian Cultural Corridor off Franklin Avenue, Four Sisters Farmers Market is a project of NAGD. Every Thursday now through October, discover more about Four Sisters Farmers Market by visiting nagd.org.
Hi, I'm Tiergan.
And I'm Hadley.
We're two of the very first listeners, and we're
still listening to Native Roots Radio.
Hey, welcome back to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and I'm your host, Robert Pilot. Hey, we have Wendy Pilot on. She is our sacred animal portion of the show. Wendy's been on for many years. She's a co-founder of Native Roots Radio, and we're always great to it's always great to have you on. If I could talk here, Wendy. Welcome.
Thanks, Robert. In this portion of the show, we'd like to bring awareness to our Minnesota wolf population. Say no to the hunts.
No.
Oh. Hey, everybody. My name is Hanaji Hihani, and that means cares for them. And I was given that name by my Dega Curtis. Curtis goes by Mashke Hanajinga, which means walks on white clouds. I'm a humane policy volunteer for Humane World for Animals, formerly known as the Humane Society of the United States, and I work on animal issues at the local and state level. It's always my pleasure to do that. So
yeah, that was easy to say too.
That's what you think.
Yeah.
Yeah. A couple of things here today. Reminder, a car ride with the windows down is a great enrichment for anxious and reactive dogs.
Oh.
Yeah. So if you have an anxious or a reactive dog, get them in the car, put the window down, and let them like the air fly in the air and let them smell all the smells.
Aren't all dogs reactional?
I don't think so. No, we have a reactionary dog.
We have always had a
I
reactionary.
know. We've never had a normal one, have we?
I think
No, there's plenty of dogs that walk down the street and are fine. They don't bark at people. They don't bark at other dogs. They're calm. We see them all the time. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. It's fine. I mean, we just, Wanda's great. We love her.
Oh,
So
Wanda.
she is. And it's funny, there's an article here that I'm trying to bring up. I have a subscription to the Washington Post, and I saved this article, but now, of course, the firewall comes up, the paywall comes up, and I'm signing in, but I can't remember my password. But anyway, the article, I'll just do like what I could remember about reading it. It's from the Washington Post. It was just the other day. Why skipping your dog's walk is a bigger deal than you think. And this is from the Washington Post. And it really talked
Guilt
about
coming my way.
It is guilt. Yeah. Because, it talked about this, these people whose landlord put a fence in their backyard, and they were really happy about it because they were like, oh, great. Now I could just let my dog go out and pee and come back in the house. But then the people felt guilty because they weren't getting the dog out for its regular walk, and it really talked about how getting your dog exercise is really important. But the most important thing is to let your dog look around at its environment and sniff.
Wow.
Sniffing is like totally so important for their behavior, their emotional well-being, their stress levels, and just letting them sniff. Now, sometimes Wanda will stop and sniff, and she'll sniff and sniff. I'm just like, okay, she's got a good smell, and I kind of leave her. I really do. I really do.
You've trained me to too.
I will just leave her because I know that she's really having a great time sniffing whatever she's smelling, and then sometimes she rolls around in it, and I'm like, oh geez, what the heck is that? But anyway, just let your dog sniff. It's really, really good. I read another article. It wasn't this particular one, but another one, and it was just like letting your dog just like sniff around is like it's like a mile walk for them, the excitement that they feel and everything. Yeah.
And you schooled me on that. And that's, I always make sure that I let our four-legged relatives sniff now.
Yeah. Well, I know, like when we walk, a lot of times we'll see people pulling their dog, not letting them sniff.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't know if they've already been out on an hour walk and the dog sniffed a million things and they have to get back home. But, I don't know.
Yeah.
Listen to this one. I love this. In Japan, technology and compassion come together to protect wildlife. Trains now play sounds that mimic deer snorts and dog barks, preventing wildlife from crossing the tracks. Yeah, by using these animal-friendly sounds, train operators are reducing deer collisions by 45%, helping to protect both wildlife and passengers. This innovative approach reminds us that even the simplest changes can have significant environmental impacts.
Wow.
Yeah, so what they do is the trains use speakers that snort like deer for 3 seconds, then bark like dogs for 20 seconds. Yeah, and that scared the deer off the track. So, yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. I'm really happy about this one too. Sweden has officially become the first country in the world to go 100% cage-free for egg-laying hens.
Wow.
Yeah, freeing 17 million birds from a life behind bars. No more cramped wire cages. I'm so excited about this. I can't even say wire. No more standing on metal floors, just fresh air, open space, and the right to be a chicken. This is like really huge for animal welfare. And I hope that other countries and states and anywhere who, these poor factory farmed animals are just too much. But hey, go Sweden. I think that's pretty good.
That is great.
I really do. Yeah. So I have some questions you want me to read them and you can answer them? Since this is kind of like a fun fact Friday. A lot of them you've heard before, so I bet you can. And I think these are kind of easy. So this might be not so challenging anyway.
Sure.
I'm going to try to give you the question without giving you the answers and see if you know it first.
Oh, geez.
What is the only male animal that becomes pregnant? I'm going to kind of just give it to you like that. And if you need help,
I need help.
All right. I'll give you a donkey.
No.
Platypus.
Yes.
Seahorse.
Oh, seahorse for sure.
Seahorse. Yep.
For sure.
Ding, 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 ding. Seahorse. Yep.
Wait a minute.
I love that you have those buttons. Which animal doesn't make any sound?
Yeah, give me a hint.
A rabbit, a fish, or a bull?
A rabbit.
Fish. The answer is fish.
They make bubbly sounds.
It's probably because they're breathing out of their gills, but no. Yeah. Okay.
That was a trick question.
This is a hard one. Which animal has the strongest sense of smell? I'll give you 3.
Mm-hmm.
A bloodhound,
a
polar bear, or an elephant.
Oh, geez. I was going to say a bloodhound.
Bloodhound, polar bear, or elephant. No, it's a polar bear. I would have thought bloodhound as well. Yeah.
The elephant has a long nose, so.
I know, right? This is a kind of a fun one. We've talked about this before. I'm going to see if you could remember this.
Oh, geez.
Which animal gives pink milk?
Pink milk? Come on, give me a hint.
Okay, a camel, a hippopotamus, or a kangaroo?
Oh, kangaroo.
No, it's hippopotamus. A hippopotamus gives pink milk, and when they sweat pink sweat. Mm-hmm.
That's the one I was looking for.
Oh, is that the one you look, baby? You have to have
when
those.
when I miss it.
You have to have those marked. Do you have them marked?
I do. I just
okay.
Just not organized today.
What animal dies after mating?
Oh, I should know this. Give me the hint.
Okay, octopus,
No.
a bee, or a bat?
Jeez, it's not an octopus. How about a bee?
A bee, yes. It's a bee. You got it.
Well, we got 30 seconds. Give me a quick one.
Okay. What is the largest animal on Earth?
A whale?
The blue whale.
The blue one, yes.
Yeah, you got to say the blue one because other whales are small.
Yes.
Which animal does not close its eyes?
Oh, you mean like blink?
I don't know. It doesn't say blink. It just says what animal does
All
not
right, quick.
close
We
its
got 10
eyes.
seconds.
Owl, snake, or fish?
Doesn't close their eyes? Owl, snake, or fish? Fish.
Correct.
We'll be back tomorrow or Monday. Hey, this is Native Roots Radio.